Hello, welcome to Always Yarn First. I'm Lindsay. I'm a knitter, crocheter, and spinner coming to you from Central Arkansas. I work at Arkansas Yarn Co. and I am also a virtual assistant. To stay updated on my latest yarn adventures, you can follow me at Instagram and Ravelry as Always Yarn First. Welcome everyone. Today is Tuesday, June 30th, the last day of June. And I am coming to you with probably a very short episode. If you are new here, thank you for being here. I hope you will stick around and you find something you enjoy. I do a traditional podcast style, finished objects, new cast-ons, work in progress, all that jazz. I do name every episode after a song title because before my love of yarn was my love of music, and I always find something that is relevant to either my making or just my life. And this is episode 113, and today's song is Hurt by Johnny Cash. I picked the Johnny Cash version because I am in a lot of pain today. I'm hoping that you can't tell by looking at me, but I have done something to my neck and shoulders to where I can't move it certain ways. I am going to the chiropractor tomorrow, but I'm just trying to be gentle with it, try to do some gentle stretches, use ice packs, heat packs, all that thing, biofreeze, 10 machine. Yeah, so it is what it is. But I wanted to come to you today because both tomorrow and then next week on my days off, I have appointments. So it's going to be busy. And then the next 2 weeks after that is right around the yarn crawl. So I don't know what time I'm gonna actually have off. So it might be a few weeks before filming again. I wanted to jump in here and just show you what I've been making. I do have timestamps below to each section. This week I have finished object, cast-ons, whips, and one acquisition. So let's get into it, shall we? I have a finished object and I'm not sure where they are right now, so I am going to put in a picture. It is my vanilla socks with my Tiny Human Knits Spirited Away set that I was working on last time. I was pretty close. So I finished those and I'm very happy with them. They are toe up. I use a US 1 needle, 60 stitches. And again, vanilla, so nothing fancy to the pattern. I just do the short row heel, at least until you're gonna see I've started a new one. But happy that those are done. Love Tiny Human Knits. She is a Canada dyer and she makes fantastic self-striping yarn. All right, that is the only finished object I have, but I have two new cast-ons. So let's stick with the socks because my sock mojo has been back in full throttle, and I immediately cast on this sock as soon as I finished my last socks. You'll remember this yarn I showed the last podcast as a new acquisition. This is the wool and vinyl yarn. Let's see, classic rock sock. I have my notes down here. A classic rock sock and the colorway Day Tripper. I was so excited to cast this on, so I did. And I was gonna do a pattern sock. I felt like doing something different. So I'm kind of still doing a vanilla sock, but not really. But it is a pattern. Vanilla is the new black. So this is a cuff down sock, and it's a vanilla sock except for the heel. So here's where I cast on. Here is the heel. I am past the heel. I have mentioned before that I am not a heel flap and gusset girl. I like my short row heels. So this one is really interesting, and Jessa from work has made this sock a few times and says that it fits her well. So I wanted to try it. So it's kind of like a heel flap, except you're knitting in the round the entire time. You're just creating this ribbing, basically. and then you don't have to pick up any stitches, but then you do short rows after this part, which creates that nice heel right there. So I'm very, very excited to see how these fit on me. And I don't know, I'm really excited. I did have them on magic loop. I cast on with magic loop and did magic loop up until I was past the heel. After I was done with the short rows, which was right here, I went back on my 9-inch circular. And I'm doing that for a couple of reasons. One, because I knew that heel, I wanted to keep these stitches separate, because basically with the magic loop, you have them separated half and half. But this part, when you're doing this, grows to double the stitches. So I do a 60 stitch sock. So I had 30 stitches on this side of my magic loop. But by the time I was done with this, I had 60 stitches just on the one side. But I wanted to keep those two sides separate, so it was kind of easier for my brain to process. That's why I wanted to keep it on the magic loop. And also because I have heard many makers whose gauge has changed, which you have talked about on here. I want to see what the difference in using the different kinds of needle techniques. So when I'm done with this sock, I am going to take a gauge specifically of this, which is magic loop knitting, and then I'm going to take a gauge of my foot, which will be 9-inch circular knitting, because I'm curious the difference, or is there a difference between the two. So it was kind of dual purposed, but I will finish this out with the 9-inch circular. Like I said, I'm past the heel, not much into the foot yet, because I'm just starting I don't even have 10 rows yet. I think I might be right at 10 rows. But I'm loving, loving, loving this sock color. Of course, it looks kind of blown out, but it's gorgeous and fun, and it makes me happy. And I've done the hard part already. So new heel to me, I'll let you know how I feel. But I was gonna say that when I did the magic loop, I did try on the heel before I switched. I put this on my foot and it felt nice. It felt very contoured to my heel. So we'll see. Yeah, vanilla is the new black. All right, I cast one other thing on. That sock isn't in a bag because I just had it sitting on the couch. This is in my Knit for Brains bag. This is Rainbow Bright bag with the super fun stars in there. I cast on a shawl. So I cast on the Make It My Way shawl. This is a pattern by Stephen West. It calls for 5 skeins of yarn. He does in a fade. So I looked through my stash. I'm gonna lean over here. And I was trying to see if I had anything. And if you saw me attempt to work on my yarn crawl shirt, which is a fade, working it from stash, that didn't go so well because I probably will completely frog that project. I'm just not happy with it. So I didn't want to overthink it, but I have mentioned how I love hot pink speckles specifically. I went through my stash and saw, okay, how many yarns with hot pink speckles do I have? So the first one I started with is mostly white space. Again, this is blowing out, but this one does have like the delicate pinks in it. This is Arkansas Yarn Co. Yummy Plush and Secrets the Modeste Keeps. Then I will show you the other ones I have here. All right, so this will be my second one because I was kind of going by, again, white space. So this would be color 3, color 4, and the last one, color 5. I keep going back and forth if 4 and 5 need to be switched, but I feel like this, because this one has specifically black. This one kind of looks black on screen, but this is like blues. I think either way I can't go wrong because it's white with pink speckles. Especially with, by the time I get to those colors, the sections will be long. So lots of stitches on the needles. I'm very excited. I think this is gonna be an awesome fade project. Not so much a fade, just kind of more color, more pinks as you go down the line. Yeah, I'm super excited. So here is what I have so far. This pattern is awesome. This came out in May, and I love this pattern because if you've ever done a Stephen West shawl, you know a few things. One, you don't know what to expect usually. It's gonna be crazy shapes, picking up stitches, all kinds of crazy things. But he has tutorials. He holds your hand. So if you are interested in learning different stitches, then Stephen West pattern is a way to go. Now this is not a mystery knit along. He does have the instructions, but what's really awesome about this pattern is, as the title suggests, make it my way. This shawl has 10 sections, and each section in the pattern, side by side, he has a picture of 2 options for each section. So first section, after you cast on, okay, do you want it to look like this and it's knitted up, or do you want it to look like this? So he has instructions on the left for one, on the right for the other. Then you scroll down, same thing each time. Section 2, do you want A or B? Section 3, A or B? So you can combine this so many different ways. It's unreal. And it really kind of takes the pressure off of like, well, I don't want to do brioche, or I don't want to do cables, or whatever it is. So I am in section 2 already. So the first section, I just did garter here. And now I'm in twisted rib. So you can kind of see those pinky bits now in this yarn. Just a little bit of pink, mostly white space, super delicate pink. So I think I used color 1 for quite a while, but again, Stephen West style, you increase stitches pretty fast. So especially this section here with these yarn overs, I think I like doubled my stitches, which is great. But I think you use color 1 for quite a while till you're really building how big your shawl gets, because his shawls are huge. But I am super excited to do this. If you are fairly local to Arkansas Yarn Co., I'm kind of jumping the gun on this, but we will be hosting a knit along for this in the end of July. The reason being is Ross from Twisted Ambition will be here the second week of the yarn crawl, and he is making up kits for this pattern. And then when he is here, we are hosting an after hours event with him at the shop for a cast on party. I just have so many things on my needles, and I'm so slow with things, and y'all, if you've been here a while, you know that I pick up something. I mean, I could put this down tomorrow and not pick it up for 3 weeks, just because that's how my making kind of goes. So I just cast it on because I knew I wanted to use my stash yarn. Not that I won't buy a kit from him, because if I enjoy this, I can see changing it up and doing it completely different way next time. This is so enjoyable so far. But this is on, let's see what needle this is on. US 4. And because his shawls get big, I think it calls for a 40-inch. I don't know what I think I have mine on a 32 with 5-inch interchangeables. So yeah, I'm really, really enjoying this. I think this will be a fun shawl. But if you are follow along with me on here and you want to join us for a make along, then wait for a month. And Ross is even doing a special kit for Lori in the store. So make sure you watch out for that. Again, that'll be the end of July, the second weekend of the yarn crawl. All right, that's my last cast on. I have been working on a couple of whips. So let's start with the one that you've seen the most lately. This is in a bag I got at the retreat, wool needles thread. And this is my test knit. I am right about done with working in the round and splitting for the front and the back. So this is my test knit for Blame the Knots, MC, and it is called Central Purlk. And you see that it has that garter in the middle of both the front and the back. It is gonna be a cropped tank top. I am using Arkansas Yarn Co. Thank Heaven For 7, which was our 7th birthday celebration yarn that Lori dyed. We do not have any more of. And yeah, there's not really much to show. This has been going the same thing. I've just been getting to where where I was last time I showed it. I may be there. I need to re-measure this. I was about a 1/4 inch last time I looked. So very close. I think I'm probably there. But next time you see it, it should hopefully, I don't know if I work on the front or the back next, but it will look a little bit different. I have till the end of July to finish that test knit. Some people are already done. All right, I have one more whip. This is one I haven't shown for a while. This is in a bag. It was gifted to me by Amy of Happy Little Yarn. We were co-hosting in the fall. We usually co-host a stripe along, make along. And this is a crochet project. And this got some work because when I am at work, I teach beginner crochet or knitting lessons one-on-one with people if you schedule an appointment. And when I know I'm going to be teaching crochet, I like to bring a crochet project I currently have in process because I like to, they have the sample yarn. I don't want to, sometimes when you're teaching someone, I don't know if y'all are like this, when you're teaching someone, you kind of have to, it's hard to explain it without it in your hand. So I'm like, okay, let me see how I hold it. So instead of taking the yarn and the hook from them, I'm just like, okay, I brought crochet. Let me show you what I mean by this. So I brought this out and I don't know if this stitch marker is accurate from where I showed it last time. See that stitch marker there? And this is Mrs. Fezziwig. This I am using the Arkansas Yarn Co. Wonka Advent from a couple of years ago. And I just, after I re-picked it up and remembered what I was doing with these like spiky stitches, I was like, oh, this is so fun. I only do 2 rows in each color. So to keep them organized and in order, because I'll use the colors again, I have this. Essentially, it's a tackle box with 24 slots, and the little things are removable. But you can see what I've used so far because they've been wound up. So this will be my next one to use. And I just have them in order going down the line. That's how I keep them in order for my Advent minis when I haven't, because I have a couple of Advents with different projects on. I love this tool. It's not really, you know, easy for traveling around with, but I usually keep this just in the living room on a shelf, and I'll wind up, especially because this Advent particularly was like a variegated solid, which is awesome. So I'll wind up 2, and I can easily look, like right now I'm not attached to any yarn. So if I had 2 wound up in my bag, I would know the variegated one's next because the last one I did was solid. So easy peasy there. I love this. This is pretty much just a double crochet with an extra little kind of spiky stitch that goes down farther. This is a pattern by Dawn Barker, who has done a lot of assigned pooling. So I'm gonna move that up now. This is a really fun pattern if you're looking for a crochet pattern that you maybe want to use an Advent this year for. But that is all my making. Oh, and I'm using a 3.75 millimeter hook for that project. All right, that's all my making, except I have been spinning, but I don't like to show that till I have my bobbin done. And I am almost full of bobbin. I am working on the pink wool nylon blend yarn, or not yarn yet, fiber that I got from Arkansas Yarn Co. because I want to do a spin up for socks. So that is going along good. My bobbin is nearly full and I've been working on that somewhat. Again, there's been pain in my arms and things lately, so sometimes I just spin and I don't have to think and it doesn't hurt me. I do have one quick acquisition that I will show. A couple days ago, just got my subscription of the second quarter of Woolens and Nosh self-striping yarn. And here it is. This is called Big Feelings. This is a 90% superwash Target, 10% nylon, 3-ply, 411 yards, 100 grams. With just a white neutral mini. Lots of purples in this one. So I love the Target yarn. It's super fun. Don't know when I'm going to get to this, but who knows? Maybe with my sock mojo continuing. Who knows? But this will probably be a gift for someone else because I am not super into that many purples. But it is beautiful and I will enjoy knitting this yarn. That is all I have for today. So I said it was going to be a brief one. I probably am going to take some more ibuprofen and lay down with an ice pack after this. So I hope everyone is doing well. They're trying to stay cool as it has been hot, and this week we are under a heat advisory here in Arkansas. So not fun. Like I said, next month, July 17th, starts the Arkansas Yarn Crawl, so make sure you come out, support your local yarn shops. You can find all the information online for that. And I hope to see you at the shop when you come by and visit. I hope everyone is safe, and I'll see you next time.